So thank you so much. I hope you all enjoyed the first day of the workshop. I hope it was productive for you. As Dr. Saad was saying, collecting the patients for this workshop could be a bit challenging. We really don't know what we would find inside, and sometimes there are some unexpected surprises. Now, if you look at the cases right now, obviously you saw them one after the other. It was a bit of a sensory overload, I'm sure. But if you really just take a look from afar, you'll realize these are your daily issues that you just saw being encountered by obviously the expert faculties. The most important thing is to just take time and observe what's going on. So if you notice, the first case is what you would think is your everyday ERCP, that we did the ERCP within a few minutes, you cannulated in the first attempt, you did a cholangiogram, a sphincterotomy, and you took the stone out. That seems like your everyday case, but in fact, this was an ideal look at what ERCPs are like, because you had the second case where we used a double wire technique because we were dealing with a pathology that was otherwise not reported on imaging. So you saw a double wire technique which eventually concluded with a PD stent placement and a wire biliary cannulation over the stent, and that was because of a stricture, something we did not get reported on the ultrasound. The third case you saw a generous sphincterotomy being done, but then you also saw bleed, and you saw how the bleed was controlled with injection adrenaline. Then you saw a difficult biliary cannulation because the ampulla's position was a bit eccentric, and that is what took time. So even if you try to position yourself ideally, there will be some tricky cases where the scope just needs to be aligned in a different way. You saw another case where you saw a very small papilla and you saw very large stones inside, more than 1.5 centimeter. The question comes, would a sphincterotomy be adequate in such a small papilla? It was, because they did the sphincterotomy, they removed a very large stone, and we weren't really expecting it. We thought maybe plasty would be needed. So it just goes to show that every case brings up a new conversation, it's a new layer, and it's the things that you guys are asking yourself, like, what would we do if we encountered this? We saw all of that. So every single case, you can look back at it and say that, yeah, I saw a double wire technique, I saw how bleeding should be controlled, I saw how an effective sphincterotomy can work in a small papilla. We saw a difficult floppy ampulla and how we tried to cannulate it, and then we found that the difficulty was because there was a distal stricture that really puts pressure against the wire. Difficult duodenal intubation. I think there was one case where the scope was going inside the stomach with a lot of difficulty. It was a J-shaped stomach, and again, sometimes the cannulation is not the problem, it's the intubation. It's the journey from the GEJ into the pylorus, into the duodenum. That could be very tricky. And finally, it's a nice small ampulla, but it's a hooded one. How do you lift up the fold? How do you expose the ampulla, and how do you manage to cannulate it without pinching the ampulla out of sight? So you saw all of these things in a single day. I'm hoping you see something new tomorrow, which is not too exciting, but exciting. So thank you so much.
Okay, tomorrow, slight change. I think looking at the way we moved each other, I think it started 9 o'clock, and we go on till 5 o'clock, because, I mean, the reason why I'm saying it is, faculty has traveled, he's come, just this morning.
In the morning anyway, so we'll be doing the lecture.
No, we're all going to be there for your lecture. That's the whole idea.
Okay.
That's why I didn't want these guys to miss your lecture. That's why I'm going to be here. You're all going to be. No pressure. The faculty is going to be here to listen to your talk. I didn't want them to miss.
The good part is that tomorrow we will be here by 8:30. Try to be here by 8:30, so you're a bit comfortable.
You can start. If you come here at 8:30, the systems will all be ready. Everything here is going to be ready by 8 o'clock. But we will start the talk that I really want you guys to hear is about diathermy.
And it will.
A lot of times, we know a lot of things. We use diathermy, but we really don't have any real understanding. I think this is a wonderful talk. These guys have worked hard.
Yeah.
I'm sure it will be nice.
And
Going to be learning from me.
it'll be by Dr. Asim the Great. So he's trying to hide in the back. So thank you so much.